Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Pharmacypedia. In this video, we are going to discuss about the packaging of the aerosol system. Aerosol is a type of the dosage form which has a specialized type of the packaging. So let us start. If you have still not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and new videos and notifications. So when we talk about the aerosol system, aerosol is nothing but a pressurized packaging system. A system that depends on the power of a compressed gas or a liquefied gas to expel the contents from the container. So pharmaceutical aerosol is defined as the aerosol product containing active ingredients which are either dissolved, suspended or emulsified in a propellant or a mixture of solvent and propellants and intended for oral or topical administration. So in simple terms, we can say aerosol is a specialized kind of the system whereby along with the active ingredients we use propellant. Now propellant is the actual substance which actually forces the active ingredient to come out of the device. Now this device is being framed in such a way that you need to initiate it through the help of an actuator. You press the actuator, you have your medicament out. So basically you must have seen like respiratory inhalers. They are, once they are being pressed, the active ingredients come out either in the form of the sprays or mist. So there are different types of the nozzles which defines that spray quality. So it is basically a complex system composed of a specialized type of the packaging, whereby you have actually designed the packaging in such a way that is initiating it to convert into the form of droplets, to convert it into the form of the what do you call mist or like sprays with the help of a propellant. Now, what are the advantages of having such type of the complex packaging? See, you must have seen various types of the inhalers being used by the people suffering from the lung disease like asthma or other congestive obstructive pulmonary disease. In that case, sometimes you need to have the urgent need. Instead of taking the injection, since injection cannot be taken by the patient himself or herself. So in that case, these aerosols are of great help in the way that the patient can take it himself. It immediately have the impact on the lungs. Once you take the inhaler yourself, it immediately reaches to the lung and you have the benefit with it. You must have seen that how important is the inhaler for a asthmatic patient. So the best advantage associated with the aerosol is that a single dose can be removed without contamination of material. You must and you cannot understand that when it reaches to the lungs directly, if it is contaminated, it will cause a lot of problem, lot of other disease. So in that case, these systems have the specific advantage that the single dose can come out without being any sort of the contamination, and it is a very safe mode of the delivery. Moreover, the stability is enhanced with these substances which is adversely affected by the oxygen or moisture. So when sterility is an important factor, it can be maintained while a dose is being dispensed. So the best part of using the aerosol is that a single dose can be taken out without any sterility problem, without any contamination problem, and it is in the best way that the patient can use. Moreover, the medication can be delivered directly to the affected area in a desired form. So it is actually a targeted mode of the delivery. You are not exposing the drug to the rest of your body part. It is going directly into the, it is being targeted. So if the irritation is produced by the mechanical application of topical medication, it is reduced or eliminated. So ease and convenience of application, you just have to press the actuator and it will be dispensed. The application of medication is in thin layer. The rapid response to the medicament, since it is going directly into your lungs or the targeted area, it is having more impact, and it also bypasses the first pass metabolism. So the best part is that at a lower dose you can have an effective targeted therapy. Now, what are the disadvantages associated with the aerosol system? Since the packaging is so complex, the packaging is along with the propellant. So, the very first disadvantage is that the system becomes little expensive. Moreover, the use of chlorofluorocarbons and the other propellants are the cause for the ozone layer depletion. More apart from that, other disadvantages are like toxicity concerns, or like sometimes in the case of the, if it is not being stored properly, even the explosivity concerns are there, or inflammation cases are there, because you have a propellant. You have different kinds of the propellant, so sometimes it may happen that it has the inflammability chances. So when we talk about the different components of the aerosols, basically you have the actuator, then the valve, then the valve cup, then the propellant and the product mixture, dip tube. So you can see here, this is where actuator is in place. Up below the actuator comes the valve, below that comes the valve cup. This is your dip tube. This is the area of the propellant, either in the liquid form or in the gaseous form, both the types it may work. Or this is the mixture of the product and propellant mixture. So when we talk about the propellant is basically responsible for developing proper pressure within the container. So it provides the driving force to expel the product from the container. So these are the vapor forms, liquefied propellant and product. And this is your dip tube, this is your actuator. So when you press the actuator, it moves up in the form of the sprays through the dip tube. So inside an asthmatic inhaler, in a simplified form, you can say this is the top of the inhaler or canister. You push down on the top to press a spring into the canister, which delivers one dose of the medication. And this is the metering chamber. In the case of meter dose inhaler, where you can even count the dose, this actually holds one dose of the medication. As soon as it is released, it replaces it by the another dose. So this is the metering chamber. This is the mouthpiece, whereby you breathe in the aerosol directly through the mouthpiece or via the spacer, or via the spacer is such a, whereby again you can place your mouth over here. So either through the mouthpiece or through the directly, you can just inhale from here. So this is the top of the canister, we push it down. This is the actually acting as an actuator. This is metering dose, this is the mouthpiece. Now this is the nozzle part. It actually gives out the sprays out the drug, which is saturated and vapor into the chamber, from where here you are inhaling. This is the canister. This the replaceable canister contains a drug mixture including anti-inflammatory steroids, propellant vapors. It is held inside the actuator body of the inhaler. So this is your canister part. Now, when we talk about the packaging of the aerosol system, it is a little complicated. So, to withstand that, you need the strength of the material has to be high. Otherwise, generally, in the case of medications, you use either glass or plastics are widely used for other type of the dosage form. But when we talk about the aerosols, since it has a different packaging, specialized packaging, special containers like metal containers uh, are used. Now, again, the metal containers are divided into three types: tin plated steel, aluminium, and stainless steel. Stainless steel is very good, but it is expensive. Aluminium is very light in weight and is widely used. But again, they have to withstand the pressure as high, ranging from 140 to 180 psig, pounds per square inch gauge. So when we talk about, since propellants are being used in the aerosols, you need to withstand high pressures ranging from 140 to 180 psig. Therefore, you need to have the strong quality of the containers, either tin plated steel, aluminium, stainless steel. Now again, glass is also used in for the aerosols, both the type of the glass, like uncoated glass, plastic coated glass. But these glass containers are not able to withstand the high psig requirement. When the requirement is high, the preferred choice is the metal containers. Otherwise, the glass containers, when you have the propellants or the system in such a way that the pressure is not that much developed, in that case you can use the glass containers. So let us start first with the tin plated steel containers. So it again contains a sheet of the steel plate. This sheet is then coated by electrolytic process. The coating is being done to prevent the corrosion. The coated sheet is then cut into three pieces: top, bottom, and the body part. The top bottom are attached to body by the shouldering. Shouldering is a type of the operation whereby you seal it When required, it is coated with organic material, usually the vinyl or epoxy coatings. Why this coating is done on the container? To prevent it from corrosion. Now, welding eliminates soldering processes, saves a considerable manufacturing time, and decreases the product container interactions. So, when you have your coating, the chances of interactions also become less. So, recent develops in the welding like Sodronic system and Kono weld systems are being used. So, initially it was soldering, then the welding eliminated the soldering process. Now recent types of the advanced welding systems like soldronic and cobalt systems are being used. Then comes the aluminum containers. So it is also used like tin plated containers for inhalation and topical aerosols. They are manufactured by the impact extrusion process. Now these aluminum containers are very light in weight. They are less fragile, less incompatible due to its seamless nature. They have the greater resistance to the corrosion. Now pure water and pure ethanol causes corrosion to aluminum containers. So added resistance can be obtained by coating of the container with organic coatings like phenolics, vinyl epoxy, polyamide resins. So again, they have the advantage of being used into different types of the aerosol assembly. You must have seen the drinks can drinks which are made up of the aluminum containers. So they are actually preferred in the way that they have lightweight, less fragile, less incompatibility due to its seamless nature. This is the most important advantage with the aluminum container. Next, we come to the stainless steel. Now, stainless steel containers are the best, but they are highly cost. Due to the constraints, they are not used to that much extent, but they are extremely strong, resistant to many materials, and they need no internal coating. So you can understand stainless steel containers are the best. They don't need any type of the coating. They are not prone that much to the corrosion problems as compared to the tin plated containers. They are resistant to many materials and they are extremely strong. Next, for the lower pressures, you can use the glass containers also. Now, these containers are preferred because of their aesthetic value. Like you must have seen in the case of perfumes, on the absence of incompatibility. So they look very nice. They have very appealing aesthetic value, and they also doesn't cause any sort of the interactions. So these containers are limited to the products having lower pressure, 33 psi. You can see that tin plated container could withstand 140 to 180 psig, but glass containers are not able to withstand more than 33. So lower percentage of the propellant is required. They are again used for topical and meter dose inhaler aerosols. Then again, uncoated type and the plastic coated glass containers. Now uncoated type, they have the less cost and high clarity and contents, and which can be viewed at all the times. Now again, these are protected by the plastic coating that prevents the glass from shattering in the event of breakage. Then comes the valves. So below the actuator comes, this is the actuator topmost part, comes the valves. Now valves are easy to open and close. They are capable of delivering the contents in the desired form. So as I've told you, the stream can be in the form of spray, foam and solid stream. It can deliver a given amount of the medicament. Now there are different types of the valves like continuous spray valves or metering valves. Continuous spray valves, they are basically used for the topical aerosols. Valves assembly consists of ferrule, valve, stem, dip tube, gasket and the spring. You must have seen in the previous slide that they all have this sort of the assembly. Ferrule, below the valves comes a ferrule, valve, stem, dip tube. Dip tube is the long tube which is being dipped. Gasket and the spring part to build up that pressure. Now the assembly is such a way that let us try to understand the function of each part. A ferrule is used to attach the valve to the container. It can be made from the tin plated steel, aluminum or brass. Now underside of the valve cup is coated with single or double epoxy or vinyl layer. So why this layer is being there? To prevent the contamination, to prevent the corrosion. Now valve body or the housing, again it is made up of nylon and contains an opening at the point of attachment of the dip tube. So after the ferrule comes the valve body. Then again it is made up of brass, stainless steel and tin plated. Then gasket. Now gasket is made up of stainless steel. It is used to hold gasket in place. Then dip tube. It is made up of a plastic tube made up of either polyethylene or polypropylene. It has inner diameter, very narrow diameter. However, for the capillary dip tube, diameter high, and for highly viscous product is being used. So higher range diameter is used for highly viscous products. Now these are the different kinds of the actuators. You can see different sorts of the actuator, whereby after pressing the actuator only you have the desired effect. So these are specially designed buttons which help in delivering the drug in the desired form, that is sprays, wet stream, foam or solid stream. So depending on the type of the requirement, these type of actuators are able to provide. You can, I think you recognize this one is used in your Dettol bottles. So you have a continuous solid stream. Then there are different types of the actuators like spray actuators, foam actuators, solid stream actuators, special actuators. Now metering valves. Metering valves is used for calculating the how many doses have been dispensed. For example, in the case of asthmatic budesonide inhalers are there, you can count the number of the doses dispensed. So they are used for dispensing of the potent medication. They operate on the principle of a chamber whose size determines the amount of the medication dispensed. If you remember in my previous slide, I have shown that apart from that canister comes a metering dose chamber, whereby a single dose is always there. When this dose is being evacuated, then comes the second dose. So calculated amount of the medication is dispensed. So approximately about 50 to 150 milligram of liquid material can be dispensed at one time with the use of such valves. So again, these are the actuator, different kinds of the actuators like spray actuators, foam actuators, solid stream actuators, special actuators. Now meter dose inhalers. So now you can understand the importance of meter dose inhalers, that they are able to provide and deliver specified amount of the dose. They are very portable and compact. They are quick to use, no contamination, and it is being found that dose to dose reproducibility is high. So all the doses are of same, and actually they are very accurate. Now what are the disadvantages? The disadvantage is that low lung deposition, high pharyngeal deposition. So what happens in some cases that the targeted area is lung, but it reaches to the lung in a small quantity, but while reaching it passes through the pharyngeal area where it is depositing to the large amount, that is just below the throat level. So and the coordination of meter dose inhaler actuation and patient inhalation is needed. There is a set of coordination, set of the way by which the meter dose inhaler to be used. So as soon as you press the actuator, you have to inhale. If the patient is not doing such a thing, that the target area is not reached in such a way, so you will feel that a low amount of the doses reaches to the lung, which is the desired site of the action. Now this is the commercial machine used for the manufacturing of the aerosol, whereby they are being sealed out, they are being walled out. So the ideal process is that you just fill your product first, then you add the dip tube and the valve and the other actuator assembly. You don't fix it up, then you add your propellant under pressure, then you fix the assembly, and then you check it and evaluate it. So I think you are now clear about the packaging part of the aerosols. I will be sharing further videos for the evaluation and formulation aspects of the aerosols. So thank you so much for watching my video. I am hopeful that you are now clear about the specialized type of the packaging associated with the aerosols. So thank you so much. Keep watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further notifications, for getting further updates. Thank you.